who else will be shocked if Don Mancini will make another Chucky movie? Because there's all these Don Mancini purists that just want another Chucky film and just like only want what he is gonna get, nothing else. But I'm just curious. Comment down below if you think Don Mancini will actually make a fourth film. I don't think it will, but just give me your theories. Yo, what is up, internet strangers? My name is Gavin, and we are going to be ranking all 8 Chucky films. I know if you've been on the channel for like a month, you'll be like, where's the Chucky ranking? Where's the Chucky ranking? It's coming now, and you guys are finally getting it. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Coming at number 8, this should be no surprise to anyone, and I think the majority of us Chucky fans, which I'm actually becoming a lot more of a Chucky fanatic, and I just watched the films for the first time. I actually really love Chucky. It might be one of my favorite franchises of all time. But, number 8, Seed of Chucky. Honestly, sometimes in my reviews, I'll, not say a couple little nitpicks, or, issues about a film, or compliments about a film, and I might say that the score still stays the same, but it's just, I sometimes will miss a little bit of things. This film, I think I basically covered it perfectly. I don't think there was a single issue I missed in this movie, at all. I don't think there was a single one. Do we really have to say how awful this film is? It's one of the worst. It's the worst Chucky film ever. Just watch my review. Coming in number 7 is Cult of Chucky. This is a film I will talk about a lot more, but I think it's a really bad film, and probably the most frustrating Chucky film on this entire list. Because unlike Chucky, where it's just piles of crap just beneath your feet, Cult of Chucky actually has some pretty good aspects that some of the main Chucky fans didn't really acknowledge. I actually really did like the first 30 minutes of this film, 40 minutes of the film. I actually really did like Fionn Dorff. I thought she was pretty good. Some of the acting at times was a little bit off in the first 40 minutes, but it wasn't terrible. It got worse as it went along, but it wasn't awful when the film started. I would say that there's some pretty really good kills. Like, it ramps up the gore. It's very entertaining in ways. I think Chucky has some funny moments here and there. I thought the 3 dolls were actually really hilarious when they're making fun of each other's hands and stuff like that. That was actually really funny. And there's, funny references. Like, there's a Hannibal Lecter reference in this film that's pretty funny. There's some good special effects, I would say. But overall, look at the doll. It's probably the most bland look of a doll. It's one of the most forgettable Chuckies. One of the most least funny Chuckies out of all of these films, if I'm fully being honest. Chucky still acts like Chucky, but it's one of the least funny Chuckies, in my opinion. And it just breaks the rules. Just like, now Chucky can do whatever he wants now. And the gore can look really bad at times. The one that's recycled from Bride is not nearly as done as what it was in Bride Chucky. And I think there's just a lot of aspects of this movie that are really bad. Like I said, I've reviews for all these films. So if you want to check out my deeper thoughts, go check out this one. But Cult just breaks all the rules, and just Don Mancini I kind of lost my faith in him, if I'm being fully honest. Now, just because this film is really low on the list, it's at number 6, does not mean I don't like it. Surprisingly, for a horror franchise is actually quite consistent. So, number 6 and up, I like. Cult is down here. 6 is up here. But coming in number 6 is Child's Play 3. This is a film I really like. I do not understand most of the criticisms. It might be a little bit rehashed, but it adds some new stuff in there. It has a different kid, and actually a lot of people find him annoying. I actually kind of like the kid. A very divisive opinion, I know, but I don't actually mind him. I kind of enjoy him, even though he's a little bit dumb and clueless at times. The third act, best third acting Chucky movie ever. Period. It probably is. I should do rank all the third acts of Chucky. That would be an interesting video. I think I might do that, and I might rank the Chuckies as well. But best Chucky third act ever, in my opinion. It really is just a great third act. A lot of people say the Toy Story act is the best. I think it's pretty good, but honestly, I think this third act, it's probably the best third act, if I'm being fully honest. Just because it's just so, even though it's way too excessive for a carnival, it's really good, and it's a really great third act. The whole scene where he gets his face chopped off and somehow there's blood dripping down, that's really cool. I thought that, I didn't mind the love adventure. She was kind of generic, but overall, I didn't really mind her. She was fine. The thing is, some of the kills are really cool, I would say. There's some really classic lines like, don't F with the Chuck, and just lines like that are really classic lines. It's just a movie that I really do. Okay, so my number 5 is Bride of Chucky. This is a film I really did like. I think that it's a really good film. It's a really good, solid Chucky film. I don't think it's anything more than that, if I'm being fully honest. But I think it is a really enjoyable movie. I think that Jennifer Tilly as Tiffany is really great. I liked her in the film. I thought that Chucky was, of course, really good. He's at his best. This is probably the most rewatchable Chucky movie, if I'm being completely honest. And I thought the kills were really great. Of course, the scene where he throws something at the top of the glass, and then it breaks down, and then if you've seen the film, you know what I'm saying. But there's a lot of really great kills in here. There's some funny references, like the Pinhead reference, of course, is really funny, and there's some really good one-liners in this film, and some really funny jokes that I just found really entertaining. And this is just a fun, dark horror comedy. What much more do you want me to say? Now this is where the controversy comes. My number 4 spot is Curse of Chucky. Majority of the fan base likes this film. A lot of the slasher fans, the Chucky fans, they really do like this movie. But for me personally, I like it a lot more than most people, and I will tell you my reasons why right now. So, what I really did like about the film is it felt more dark. It went into more of the horror route that Chucky was really known for. I like the house. It's a really great Hitchcockian type feel. And it really does work for me overall. I thought that Chucky I like the whole reveal thing about him taking off the mask and how the mask he had in the first, it was really bad. And then he had this really cool mask that had like scars and stuff that I really did like. I thought that overall Chucky, he had some cool one-liners in there. There's some really cool kills. You're really just here for the tension and the atmosphere and just everything looking around. Chucky as himself is really not that good in this film. I couldn't really remember any of his one-liners. Like in pretty much all of these other films, I could at least remember one of his one-liners. In this film, I can't really remember any of them. So it kind of gets dumped down a little bit because I don't really remember Chucky, and that's really what you come to see these films. You come to see Chucky, and sometimes Andy Barclay when he shows up. So yeah, that's really all I gotta say about Curse of Chucky. It's a really great film. I love the house, the atmosphere, all the tension stuff. That's really great. But overall, I'd say Chucky is some of his weakest in this film. I would say. Coming in at number 3 is Child's Play 2019. Now, this is a film that I can just watch on its own terms, and it works great as a remake. I think it's a really great remake, actually. It takes it just takes all the stuff that Chucky was and just kind of switches it and does something different with it and unique, which I think is what you should do with the remake. If you want to make a remake, do something different, do something original. And this film definitely does do something very original and has some actually different themes than the original Child's Play had. It's wildly different and wildly works in just an odd way. It shows like how technology really does work and like how that works overall on a level. I thought that Chucky, you're supposed to sympathize with him. He's not this killer maniac. He just has a slight malfunction. There's a little bit something wrong with him. But you really do sympathize with him. You really do feel bad with him at the end when they end up killing him. This is by far the most emotional Chucky death. The only Chucky death that has emotion, and it's just kind of sad when he dies, and really is. There's some really great kills, probably some of the best Chucky kills in this film. If I did a ranking of them, it would probably be in the top 5, but I don't think I want to do one. But it's just, I overall do love this film. I really do. It has some really nice themes about how his mother doesn't really treats him more like a friend than a mother, and how he ends up giving those sort of poor motherly traits to Chucky, and then how he ends up taking that because his mother's a bad parent, so Andy ends up sort of being a poorly parent to Chucky, and it just works on such a deep level, has some really deep themes, and has a lot more to say than most slasher films. So yeah, number 3, Child's Play 2019, but the issue I have with this film is the doll design trash. They really need to work better on that doll. I hope they do that if we get a sequel. I would love if we got a sequel, but if they do it in a sequel, I would prefer them to change it up a little bit, and that I would like to see just a little bit of change with the doll design, and I didn't really like Andy's friends. They were a little bit annoying. But overall, number 3, Child's Play 2019. Now, these Chucky movies are really difficult to rank, and the top 2 is really hard for me to rank personally, just because these two films, they're so wildly different, even though they're both just right next to each other. They are very great and fantastic horror films for very different ways, but I had to rank them, and my number 2 spot, this is going to get Cody Leach mad, my number 2 spot is Child's Play 2. This is a film I absolutely love. I think it's fantastic. They figured out what they had with Chucky and made him a lot more anime, more bombastic. I thought the kills are great, especially the scene where he grabs the yardstick, and that scene where he like hits the teacher with it. That's basically an iconic scene. Some really great, amazing one-liners. Chucky It's at full potential in this film. There's some really great scenes. Of course, the Toy Factory, which everyone mentioned. It's amazing third act. One of the best horror third acts. One of the best slasher third acts of all time. And just a great third act. Love that third act. The animatronics for Chucky are really great, I would say. Alex Vincent, in this film, he's not as bad as he used to be. He's not great or anything, but I think he's actually pretty good in this film. I thought he did a lot. I think he improved on acting after the last couple of years. He actually is a lot better in this film, I would say. And I really did like him. And just it's a really good movie. It doesn't touch on it touches on some of the certain themes that the original one did, but doesn't do it as well. But it does its own thing, and it does it really great. But coming in at number 1 is the classic Child's Play, the original. I know, I'm so original. Honestly, I was debating multiple times. The first Child's Play 2 was my number 1. I was like, no, Child's Play was my number 1. That was Child's Play 2. It was switching constantly. My list was switching. I looked at one time at the remake at number 1. But this is a film that has some amazing themes that no one really... quite a few of the critics say, no, it's like something... It's such a bad movie, dude. It's so unoriginal. It's so bland. It's so nothing. No, there's actual themes. It has stuff about trust and who you can trust and just who should you believe, who you shouldn't believe, and is it really the kid? Is it really the doll? Just all that stuff really did work for me. I thought some of the animatronics, some of the special effects with Chucky were great. Of course, some of them weren't all that great, and you could tell it was akin to soup, but I'd say for the most part, they're actually really good. So there's a little bit cheesy elements, there's some slow motion things that really didn't work for me, and I like that they actually showed the doll, and you can tell they put effort in this film. They actually put effort in this Chucky film, and it really does work great, because they didn't really just zoom in when the doll was all in there. It would just completely change the movie and made it really bad. I thought some of the scenes where it was like showing Chucky, like in the eyes of Chucky, some people say it's not as great as Jaws, or it's not as great as Halloween, but still though, it's still really great, and it shows you in the eyes of a doll, which is different than in Halloween and in Jaws and in Critters, I guess. That stuff was awful. And like when they did in Child's Play 2, it was not well done in my opinion. It was actually not really well done at all. But in this film, it's actually really done really well. It shows it. There's Chucky and like Tom Holland. He's a really great director. I should watch some more of his films because I really did love this film. It's really fantastic. And I just thought like there's a lot of great things with this film. Of course, Alex Vincent's performance wasn't all that great, and there are some issues here and there, but overall, it comes in at number 1 for me. Okay, guys, if you have watched the Chucky films, tell me your ranking in the comments below. Maybe we could reason about this. And yeah, if you love Seed of Chucky, please reason with me in the comments below, or you love Cult, please tell me why, because I would really like to know your answer, because boy, those two films are really not good in my opinion. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.